Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nibiru channel. It is October 13th, 2016, and yesterday I had the grand opportunity to be a guest on WSO with lead creator and Nibiru researcher Steve Olson. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite all of you to listen to this interview, and it was a fantastic interview. I definitely think it is worth your time, and if you have not subscribed to WSO, I urge you to subscribe to Steve's channel. There is a wealth of information that deals with Nibiru, so sit back and stay tuned.
And I mean, I've learned a lot from everybody.
Right.
And I mean, that's what this is supposed to be about. But there shouldn't be any type of a competition.
Nope.
Because this is not a competition. This is not who's going to break this story, because you know what? If you break a story that's real big, hey, next time the pipe bomb may go off.
Help our audience move through the decision. Is this real or is this not real? And I'm not trying to say I'm trying to sell anybody on it. I'm just showing you what I know so that you can make your decision. But these photographs came from a subscriber. I would never have known this ever existed had it not been for the subscribers. My point is that we all have a role to play, and Scott and I are not in competition with each other. So if you send me something and say, don't show this to Scott, the first person I'm going to send it to is Scott.
Yeah.
See, we're not going to play that game with y'all.
Yeah, you know, and there's a lot of times too that I run things by, the small team that I have that work with me, and they each put 20 hours a week in, plus they work regular jobs and take care of their own family. Sometimes we are up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Last week we got so in depth in a few things that by the time we looked at the clock, it was 5:15 in the morning, and one of my guys had 15 minutes to get to work a 10-hour day. And this is dedication, and that's what everyone should. That's what they should respect, is that we are dedicating this time. We're taking so much time away from our family and our friends and our regular lives to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I need a pat on the back or anything like that. And I know all of my subscribers appreciate it, because like you said, they send me the most heartfelt emails, and they do touch my heart. I mean, sometimes I read the emails and they give me chills, because I don't even know these people. A lot of them are in Europe and on the other sides of the world, and they're touching my heart and I'm touching theirs. And that's one beautiful part of doing this type of research, bringing this information to these people. But, then there's the dark side of it, thinking that, wow, this person touched my heart, but I may never, ever get to meet them because of what's going to happen. And that bothers me, because I've had telephone conversations with a lot of these people. And Jimmy, just like me and you, we had a great conversation today. And now I feel like I've known you all my life. And I think about that when I get off of the phone with some of these people, and they have very big concerns. Like, Scott, what am I going to do with my family? I have 4 kids. I have 3 kids. I live here. I live there. What's my best option? And you know what? If I was in this for the money and the glory, I would just say, hey, you'll be okay. Don't worry about it. But I go in depth with them, and I try to help them. And that's what we've taken on. Bottom line, we're in these shoes.
Yeah, and it's not a pretty place to be, guys. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back either, or even you, Scott. I'm just saying, we're choosing to try to plow into a very difficult subject with very little support. We've got a lot of forces against us, but we're good people, man. We're part of our neighborhoods. We have coffee. We grocery shop. We're normal folk, man. And thank God you have a neighborhood that cares about you, Scott. Thank God for that.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what. I mean, if it wouldn't have been for Joe and his timing, You know, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. They would have silenced me. But like I say all the time, hey, you know what? You silence me, you better put me 20 feet underground instead of the normal 6 feet, because I may just dig my way out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I have that's one of the things that came along with this this kind of burden, if you will, is this I am in this for the long haul. I'm not going to play this game for like 6 months and go away. I'm going to keep playing this until I'm going to keep beating this drum and trying to help people understand and help myself understand, quite frankly, what the heck is going on in this world. That's what's happening. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and there's so many different levels of what we're dealing with. We're not just dealing with what is up in the sky. We are also dealing with what's happening on the ground. And I don't want to get into the whole government thing because I don't want to piss them off, if they happen to be, eyes in the skies and, ears. But, we're dealing with that aspect also. And that's a very, very serious subject. So there are so many levels of what we're doing. We're trying to keep our eyes in the skies and we're trying to keep our ears to the pavement. And, and I tell a lot of my subscribers that say, well, hey, what can I do? What can I do? And I said, listen, don't be mad or sad if you can't catch any great photographs. But what you can do is start paying attention to what's going on in your community. If all of a sudden you see troop movements coming into your community, you see odd things that are going on, note them down. Drop me an email. Ask me what I think. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, a bunch of my subscribers in the state of Washington started emailing me. And they're like, Scott, we're kind of concerned. There is the beginnings of a massive troop buildup in Spokane. We've never seen this before. What's happening? Now, do we have a war going on in the United States that I didn't hear about? Why would they do this?
Yeah, and it's not like troop movement's a good thing to be reporting on the mainstream media. I'm sure that they have, there's this that collusion that goes on between them. But, these are just local folk. That's one of the things about social media that's so powerful, is the way it's folk. And, here we've got people seeing this stuff all over the United States. The other place that we're seeing a lot of troop movement is towards the middle of the country, too.
Yep.
And that's all very kind of suspicious. And what really ticks me off, and this is one of the things I saw coming back from Louisiana, Scott, a couple days ago, was that I would see these, like those, what do they call them? The Rhino vehicles, military vehicles, the ones that can take an IED type blast.
Yeah.
Those vehicles, but none of them would have markings on them.
Yeah, and they have soldiers with weapons. I caught a video from Southern California. They were traveling down, what is that one main highway going into San Diego? Is it I-5 or something like that? There was about 4 or 5 of them speeding down the highway. One of my subscribers sent me the video. They actually followed them off of an exit, and they actually went speeding into a neighborhood, just blowing through stop signs in them big vehicles. They're kind of like shaped like a boat, have 6 wheels on them.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but they had, soldiers hanging out of the top, and they were fully armed, and they followed them all the way in and videotaped the whole entire thing. I'm not going to publicize anything like that on my YouTube channel, but I viewed the video. I found it very, very alarming. None of the vehicles had any type of markings on them. None. Zero.
That bothers me more than anything, having been a vet. I'm a veteran, okay? And my time of service was 1982 through I actually stayed in the National Guard through 1990, but I was in the regular Air Force from 1982 to 1986, okay? And the last gig that I did before I left the regular Air Force was I worked in the ESS, it was called Electronic Security Squadron, and we did electronic security, and we had a mobile it was mobile communication, and we were tied to at that time, the Rapid Deployment Force, okay? And I can tell you that every one of our vehicles was marked. It just was.
Yeah, it's very unusual. I mean, I actually did speak with an ex-military veteran yesterday down in Texas, and we were talking about this specifically. And he just came back from Iraq, I think about 2 years ago. And we were discussing this, and he told me, he said, I'm telling you right now, if those vehicles do not have troop markings on them, that is a double red flag. And then, you know, we have the aspect of all of these UN soldiers throughout the United States. The last count I got on them, there was about 100,000 of them here in the United States. Now, you know, I have connections, and you know, I come to find out, yeah, you know, they were being sent over here. Yeah, they're doing maneuvers. Well, do them in your own country. Why are you doing them here? Why do we need 100,000 UN troops scattered in groups of 10,000 in different strategic points in the Midwest? Why? And they're still there. They've been there for the last year.
Again, yeah, and all we're doing is just repeating what people are telling us. That's what I'm saying. It's not like we're some kind of like, you know, whipping up these stories or anything like that. This is just a network of normal folk, you guys.
Absolutely.
And we're all normal folk. None of us are geniuses or anything like that, but we're smart enough to know when we're being lied to.
That's, yeah, there's no doubt about that.
And I'll tell you something else, which is funny, though, and this kind of brings us back around to the trolls for just 1 second. It's like part of what's happening with the trolls, though, is I think they're getting so desperate now to bottle this message up and other messages, of course, that we see. You heard about Hillary's army of trolls that just came out in the email leaks as well.
Yeah, that was sent to me by one of my subscribers.
Yeah, and this validates, guys, that if they don't want a message to get out on social media, they will pay people to stalk and hunt the subscribers.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to scare you, but I'm just saying to say that, you know, if you're getting, you know, followed around by somebody that really wants to convince you that we're scam artists or fraud, you know, really your radar should go up and you really should report that person.
Yeah, absolutely. It's happened to my subscribers, and they've put extra duty onto my channel.
Yes, they have, Scott. I've noticed that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I will tell you that you're under full bore attack. They do not want you to succeed. I want you to succeed.
Yeah, and I mean, I periodically do inform my subscribers in the beginning of videos what to do. And I said, listen, you know, we're all in this together. We are one team, brother and sister, and I need you guys to help me fight back. So this is what you need to do. And because of YouTube's platform, it's very flawed, because ever since they've integrated YouTube or Google Plus, it gives these troll babies another access to infiltrate your video comment section. So if I block an individual on my YouTube channel comment section, it does absolutely 100% no good, because what they do, and I have investigated this thoroughly, and I have a friend of mine that does some IT work for me, and he is the one who uncovered all of this. And what they do is they immediately get into a comment section, and they will be quiet. They won't say anything. And they will find the first person that's making a comment that has the little plus symbol next to their name. They will click on that person's name and go directly to their Google Plus account. Then they will start to comment through the Google Plus feed. And the only person that can block them from that is that individual. I cannot. That person has to do it. But what they do is they get a multitude of people through the Google Plus, 4, 5, or 6 of them, and then they'll start doing the comments through the Google Plus. So It's very, very hard to control them, but I don't back down from them. I do battle back and forth with them sometimes. I do try to intimidate them, and you know, I talk my own crap too. But you know, they don't bother me. They don't get me mad or jacked up. But you know, you're well informed of the situation that happened with my 13-year-old daughter, and that I was about ready to blow my lid.
Well, no, you're a father, man. What do you expect, people?
I mean, that right there, that was a fighting. That was you know, if that person that did that would have been in front of me, I'm not even going to repeat what I would do. But you know, they went ahead and they infiltrated my personal Facebook page, and they were sending me a multitude of instant messages, and I didn't pay any attention to them. And they saw that you know, I have a daughter, I have a son. And they went ahead and they made a dummy account on, wow, that was a loud motorcycle. They went ahead to my daughter's Facebook account, and they copied the photograph of one of her friends and the name, and they made a dummy Facebook account. Then they messaged her and they said, "Hey, Nikki, you know, this is Julie. I lost my password to my Facebook account. You accept my friendship?" Well, you know, my daughter's 13. She didn't think anything. Yeah, she did it because it was her friend's face. It was her profile picture. And then as soon as she accepted it, the next thing that popped up in her little inbox was a very, very graphic, pornographic picture. And when I mean graphic, man, I'm talking triple X. And, you know, my daughter's 13. The computer is in a central spot in our house. We, you know, I monitor what they do. And, you know, they got to her. But all of the wording that came with the photograph was wording from a troll who has been in my comment section nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then it was the same one who was sending me instant messages on Facebook and started to email me. And I have probably 10 emails with all of these threats of taking me to the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the local police department, the this, the that. They're going to file a civil lawsuit against me for fraud. How am I committing fraud? Number one, I wanted to be a lawyer. I have a degree in criminal justice. I know the law very well, and I am not breaking any laws whatsoever. But you're breaking cyber laws, cyber harassment. But they're using fake names, and I just uncovered that the other day. I started digging a little bit, and like I said, I'm a very good investigator. And I found that one of the YouTube trolls is using a name that he stole from a gentleman and created a YouTube account, a Google Plus account, and guess who this guy is? He is the president of a huge casino in Las Vegas. And not only did I locate his family and his sister, I told her exactly what was happening because this man has a very unique name. Very unique. So the odds of there being two people in this world with this very unique first and last name, 1,000,000 to 1. So I sent the girl, the sister, the information, and the man got back in touch with me, and he said, wow. So he has a private investigator and a local authorities in Las Vegas on it. Then I find the other nemesis troll that sent my daughter the pornographic photographs. He's using the identity of a beautiful man who is a Ecuadorian minister and missionary. Come on, man. Are you serious? So they're literally so stupid that they're taking names of prominent people, but nobody knows it. Because if you go to their YouTube channel, they have no content, they have fake names, fake pictures, and no constructive comments when they're dealing with your videos. And who can sit on the comment section of a YouTube video for 8, 10, 12, 16, 20, 24 hours? Who could do that? Who's paying your bills? I already know who's paying your bills.
Yeah, it's a paid position, and there's so much evidence that's coming out about that. Like we just talked about the Clinton scandal, where she has the paid trolls to put down any kind of dissent about her, etc.
Well, you know,
it's everywhere.
You know where I found out that they're recruiting, and I'm going to use this word, and I don't care, but I found out where they're recruiting this scum. And like I said, I'm a very good investigator, and they are recruiting. Are you still with me?
I am.
Oh, okay. Because my Wi-Fi just went out, but it just went back up. I found out that the majority of these people are recruited because they have committed internet fraud and cyber crimes, computer hacking, things of that nature, and they are basically picked right out of the courtroom. And this is it's like the drug trade. Okay, so I bust you with drugs, and I'm going to say, okay, well, listen, now you're going to work for us, or you're going to go to jail for a long time. So you going to be on our team, or do you want to go sleep with Big Bubba in a jail cell for the next 5 years? And that's where they're finding all of these little scumbags. And they are given shifts, and they are also given assigned to people, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Now, YouTube's hot and heavy because you're looking at video evidence. You can really get the word out there with YouTube, and they are hot and heavy. Any subject that has to do with something controversial. And then I found out that it really started hot and heavy when all of the 9/11 conspiracy theories came out. And that's when they were placed into YouTube to just break down all of these 9/11 conspiracy theories. And here we are today, 2016. We don't know where our futures are going, and this is what we have to deal with.
Yeah, we have to deal with subterfuge and liars, which are two things I've hated my whole life.
Exactly, me too.
I've always been a straight shooter. That's why I've always succeeded. I've always told the truth. And even when people try to diminish my character, I have other people that know me well enough to defend me. And the thing of it is that people, you don't realize we're just good, normal people, man, just like you. We're trying to work on this thing together. And I'm glad you came on our show today, Scott, and we support you 100%. If there's anything that WSO can do for you, we will do it.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And, definitely supporting each other. You've seen some of my videos. There's a lot of times I'll make little banners that go into my videos that have your YouTube channel name on it. WSO. I've done it for BP Earthwatch. I've done it for Chris Potter. I've done it for a lot of people. And I literally put you as an advertisement into my video because I want my subscribers to get another point of view. And I want them to get additional information. So again, this is not some huge competition. And I tell all my folks, listen, if you want a very, very in-depth scientific view of what we're talking about and dealing with, I want you to definitely get over to Steve's channel, subscribe to WSO, and you're going to catch another point of view.
Yeah, and we have evidence. You have evidence. You get evidence that we don't get. And then if I see something that, and vice versa, that you're covering, I don't cover it. If you're covering something, I figure Scott's got that. I'm going to keep going with this story. We really think that way, you guys. We're not trying to compete with each other. If I have something that is puzzling to me, I'm going to send it to Scott and vice versa. So again, what I'm saying is that this is not a big enough community for us to actually compete, number one. But number two, you need to get all the research and point of view that you can. And one of the things I like about you, Scott, is that you're trying to keep it in this kind of news format and that objective news type format. I really like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, I love documentaries, you know, like we talked about today, and I could sit for 12 hours and watch documentaries on YouTube that are professionally put together, but then not everybody has that time to sit there and do that, as busy as our lives are. So I decided, okay, let's get this into 5-6 minute segments. Let me try to get as much information in these small segments, so people may be on the go. Everybody has their cell phone in their back pocket or their purse. Okay, people sleep with it, they go to the bathroom with it. So if they're able to watch one of these 4, 5, 6 minute segments of a video and absorb it, fantastic. If they have a lot of time, let them get over to your channel and let them get some really in-depth information. And it seemed to work very, very well, and I went with it. And if I'm looking for an update, or I'm looking for some small amounts of information, then it seems to work. And there are days that I will put out 3, 4, or 5 videos in a day. But as of lately, with a bunch of things going on, I've been barely able to get 2 of them up. But I'm going to get back to the grind, and we're going to start doing about 3 to 5 videos a day and getting this information out. And I think that's what needs to be done.
Yeah, I appreciate that, the role that you're filling. I mean, great. Let's just all understand that we're in this together. I think this has been a great first interview. We'd love to have you back on the show again, Scott. Maybe even do a monthly update or something together.
Oh man, we can do whatever you want. I mean, I can make the time. It's worth it. And there's one other thing that I wanted to touch on, and you mentioned about if I'm covering something, and you can stay on one subject. But here's my little philosophy on that. Even if I do cover some subject matter or photographs, and I send them over to you. We have different subscribers, so you get that message out to your people. I'll get it out to my people, and they'll catch your point of view, catch my point of view. Probably going to be pretty close to the same, but again, it is the amount of people that we're reaching. And what is there, like 7-8 billion people in this world, and we're barely reaching 70,000 people.
Yeah, we're a flea.
Exactly. So, I mean, that type of collaboration is what's needed. And, but again, I mean, what are we really going to do? You know what I mean? We need to be reaching millions of people. And if we started doing that, well, they'd shut us down immediately.
Yeah, there's part of me like, but at the same time, though, we'll see where this takes us. And, let's just keep banding ranks together. Let's keep putting our shields together in a phalanx the best we can. I mean, chances are we are not as powerful as they are in any way, shape, or form at any level. So I do not want to fight with them. But I will tell you this, I will not stop telling the truth.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and you have to take a look at a couple things too. I mean, if you start fighting with them, they're going to do some very horrible things to you. They're going to shut your information trail down. And I'm going to give you a prime example of what just happened. Very nice lady on YouTube that does her own little investigations. She goes by the name of Gator something. I forget her YouTube channel name, but she does a lot with the FAA webcams up in Alaska.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a couple of days ago, she's getting very frustrated because she's investing a lot of her time in, viewing these webcams in Alaska, and there's hundreds of them. You've been on that site before. There's hundreds.
Yes.
And then the one, Europe, which is a wealth of information on camera. And she got very frustrated one day because she's looking for the disclosure, and she wanted to know, Why are you not saying something about this? Why is this not in the media? Why are people not being warned? Now, on the FAA webcam site, there's a toll-free number up in the corner. Well, she decided to make a call, and she called them, and she basically blew the whistle on our evidence that we were gathering, because I guess they didn't realize that those webcams were showing us what's going on. And if you see that toll-free number, there's a toll-free number somewhere she found. And she called them. And she read them the riot act on the phone. Well, guess what? Guess what? Now, when you click on those links, they censored all of the loops. So if there's a vital photograph in one of those loops, it should turn up white. And she did a video about it, and she apologized to everybody that, does the research. And she goes, look, I'm sorry, guys. I got kind of mad. I wanted to know why they're not talking about this. So I called them. And she goes, now look what they did. When you click on one of the links and you go and you want to watch one of the loops, there's a bunch of little white boxes where they have deleted the information. And damn well when they delete something, well, they don't want you to see it. It's just like when they put the little pixeled boxes up on the Soho footage in Lascaux. They don't want you to see it.
Yep. Well, Scott, what a great, again, like I said, we tried to close it once, man. You and I, I think we could talk for 3 days in a row and not I really do believe that. The stories we can tell each other, but we'll have more time to do that, hopefully. And I'm glad to come on your show if you ever need somebody just to have come on and just jaw or call me anytime you want. But
yep,
thanks
absolutely.
for being on WSO tonight, and I know all of our subscribers are going to enjoy the show, Scott.
Absolutely, bud. Nice talking to you.
Take care.
I'd like to thank all of our Nibiru watchers. You guys do a fantastic job. Would also like to thank you for your loyal subscribership. You can continue to email your photographs and your video to NibiruPlanetX2016@gmail.com. And don't forget to share our videos with your friends and family members on Facebook. And subscribe to the Nibiru channel for all of our current updates. And like I always say, keep an eye in the sky.